How does the invisible coefficient work in algebra terms? Imagine you're looking at an algebra expression and see a variable standing alone. You might wonder, what number is actually in front of that variable? That's where the idea of an invisible coefficient comes into play. In algebra, a coefficient is the number that multiplies a variable in a term. When you see a variable without a number written right before it, the coefficient is understood to be 1. This is called the invisible coefficient because it's not written but is always there in the background. For example, when you see the letter x by itself, it actually means 1 times x, or simply x. Here is how it works in more detail. Every term in an algebraic expression can have a coefficient, which is the number multiplying the variable or variables. If no number is visible, you automatically assume the coefficient is 1. This makes writing and reading algebra simpler because you don't have to write the number 1 every time. Sometimes, the coefficient is -1, which is written as a minus sign before the variable. For example, in the term y, the invisible coefficient is -1. It's like saying -1 times y, which equals -y. Constants are numbers without variables, so they do not have coefficients. The coefficient tells you how many times to count or multiply the variable. For example, in the term 7x, the number 7 is the coefficient, meaning is multiplied by 7. When variables are multiplied together, the coefficient multiplies the entire product. For example, in 3xy, the number 3 is the coefficient of the product of x and y, so it means 3 times x times y. Understanding the invisible coefficient helps you see that every variable term has a hidden number in front of it, even if you don't see it written. This idea is key when simplifying expressions, solving equations, or doing any algebraic operation. Recognizing the invisible coefficient makes it easier to work with variables that stand alone or appear with other numbers. It also prevents confusion when a variable appears by itself, helping you know the implicit value it carries. In summary, the invisible coefficient is the number 1 or -1 that is assumed to be in front of a variable when no explicit number is shown. This concept keeps algebra expressions clear and simple, making your calculations more straightforward and accurate.